الحمد لله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh everyone. Hope you're all well, inshallah. So I'm sure we have all been listening to many different lectures about the upcoming month of Ramadan, and we are full of ideas, inshallah, and full of goals and plans, isn't it? Inshallah, bi'idhnillah, just a couple of days left. And so we felt the need that we need to meet and talk about just a few points before we enter the month of Ramadan. So the question that we posted on our invitation to this class was, but how? How am I going to do any of it? Yeah. I have all these goals. How am I going to do any of it? So our scholars, they say that actually, whenever we begin any act of worship, yeah, anything, we need to remember a claim that we make every single day when we recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Yeah, we need to think about this claim. Yeah. So before you get ready for Ramadan, you need to think about this claim that we make in Surah Al-Fatiha. So what is the claim that we make? We make this claim before we make the dua for hidayah. We make a claim, which is إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Only you we worship, O Allah, and only you we ask for help. Right? This is a claim. This is not the dua. It's part of the dua, Surah Al-Fatiha. But it's a claim we're making. Oh Allah, we only worship you, and only you we ask for help. Now, asking Allah for help in itself is an act of worship. But in this ayah, Allah singles out asking for help separately. Yeah. So He mentions it separately from worship as a whole. Why? One of the reasons is due to its importance. Yani ke asking Allah for help from all the acts of worship is one of the most important things we need to do. Why? Because how am I going to worship Allah unless He helps me? That is the implication. I cannot worship you, O Allah, unless you help me. So Allah is teaching us right in the beginning of the Quran, okay, the first thing you need to understand is, of course, who is Allah? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. And you need to do what? Now you need to worship Him because you know Him, right? You know who He is. Now I need to worship Him. So I say, Iyaka na'budu. Oh Allah, I'm worshiping you. Alhamdulillah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Malik. Oh Allah, who you are Al-Malik. I'm coming back to you, right? We're all going back to you. So I am worshiping you, and I cannot worship you unless you help me. Yeah. So this is a claim we need to remember. Yeah. So don't forget this claim when you make your plans for this Ramadan. Rather, this is one of the main things you need to remember. You have claimed that you only worship Him and no one else. And you are making this claim that you cannot worship Him without His help. So how can you approach Ramadan without remembering this? Yeah. So we need to be truthful. And we need to begin this month with the statement of Allah in this ayah, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Oh Allah, only you we ask for help. And our scholars have said that إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ is actually the meaning of إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ is La ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah. It is our Shahada of Islam. That's the meaning of إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ. And they said, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, it actually means La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I cannot worship Allah unless He grants me the power to worship Him. There is no strength nor ability except with Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So the question is, who said you can do it? The Quran teaches us you cannot. You cannot do anything unless Allah helps you. So we need to reflect over the fact, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Fact. There is no strength nor ability except with Allah. You on your own can't do nothing. The meaning of this phrase, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, is actually a person's admission that he is unable to do anything without the help and support of Allah. So are you just saying it, or do you even mean it? And you're saying it so many times in a day. So what an important thing to understand. Because first of all, if you don't even understand the implications of la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, then how is it even going to come from the heart? So this is why we felt it was important that we need to talk about this really important concept. So no matter how great you think you have in terms of ability or energy or health, yeah, any type of ability, you need to remember you still cannot do anything without the help of Allah, who is above all of his creation, the most great, compared to whom nothing else is actually anything, right? We're nothing, zero in comparison. Every strong person is weak when compared with Allah. Every great person is insignificant, or even less than that, and weak when compared with his might. So now we're going to talk about the meaning of the statement, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So as you can see on the screen, our scholars have explained that the meaning of hawl is movement, while the meaning of quwwah is strength. So the meaning of this statement is that there is no movement from one state to another, and neither any strength for the slave to perform any of his affairs without exception, unless by the help and tawfiq of Allah, except by the guidance of Allah. Yeah, we're not only talking about dini issues, we're talking about anything. You cannot blink without the help of Allah. Some statements have been narrated from the Salaf and the scholars after them, which further clarify the meaning. For example, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of the statement of the Salaf, and from the Salaf, the first being some of the companions. Yeah, the first generation of Muslims. As you can see on your screen, Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, he explained La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah to mean, we have no power to act obediently except by Allah, nor do we have the strength to leave a sin except by Allah. Yeah, this is a statement of Ibn Abbas. You can't do an act of implement a command except with the help of Allah, and neither can you even leave a sin without the help of Allah. Okay. Now, this statement is not a pass for you to do whatever you want. Okay, I can't do unless Allah helps me, so I'm just going to do nothing. Or, okay, I can't help it, I'm sinning because Allah is not helping me, right? This is not a pass. Okay. This is not a pass, and you might be able to fool people by telling them, oh, I don't have the ability to do this. This is why I'm not doing it. It's impossible for me. You might fool people. You're probably fooling yourself, but you cannot fool Allah. You cannot deceive Allah by saying, I don't have the ability to do it, right? So the thing is, we are expected as believers to act. Yeah? Iyaka na'budu. That's the first part. Allah, only you we worship. But we have to also affirm, I cannot do it unless you help me. Yeah? So you need to strive to the best of your ability, relying upon Allah. Yeah? Meaning, subhanAllah, there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Somebody asked him, what do I do if I see the sun rising from the west? Yani ke, this is the beginning of the day of judgment, right? It's beginning now. What do I do if I think it was the sign of the sun, from what I remember. This is just from my memory, yeah. But he spoke about one of the major signs of the day of judgment. He's like, what should I do? And the Prophet ﷺ said, if you have a seed in your hand, plant it. Yani the world is about to end, but the Prophet ﷺ instructed him, you act. You don't just give up and say, no, nothing. You still have the seed in your hand, so you act. Yeah, hoping for what? For the reward of Allah. So the believer acts, yeah, iyaka na'budu, but he believing, I cannot do it unless Allah helps me. Yeah, and you know yourself, know whether you're trying or you're not trying. Okay. So please do not misunderstand this concept. And plus, I mean, these are great Sahaba, and they are explaining La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah to mean this. And then you look at their legacy. Were they just sitting there doing nothing and saying, oh, well, I don't have the power to do nothing? Right? They didn't stop. till the very end, they kept doing, spreading the dawah of Islam. Yeah. So they were the most productive, the most um, amazing generation that has ever existed, right? Why? Because of their iman, because of their iman, because of their connection to Allah, because of their reliance upon Allah. And so Allah granted them this great amount of ability to do amazing things in just a few years. And so they transformed the world. And we are still enjoying from their legacy, if that makes grammatical sense, I'm not sure. Anyway, so we move on to the statement of Ibn Mas'ud, and he explained it with very similar wording. He said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah means there is no strength to stop sinning against Allah except by His protection, and no power to obey Him except with His help. So you can see this is completely negating oneself. Yeah. Saying, I can't do nothing unless Allah helps me. I cannot breathe unless Allah permits me to breathe. Yeah. There's no Muslim on the face of this planet who can deny this fact. Yeah. This is the truth. We are all existing within the will of Allah. So Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, he said something similar. He said, we do not own anything with Allah or instead of Him. We do not own except what He has allowed us. And to what He has allowed us to, and ultimately belongs to Him. Yani ke even if you praise someone, yeah, for being very intelligent or being very good at something, you're actually praising Allah. Yeah, you don't realize it, but you're praising Allah. Why? Because Allah is the one who granted this person this ability. This person didn't create this ability within themselves. Nobody can create ability. If you want to have a drink of water, Allah is the one who's going to grant you the ability to get up from your chair, go to the kitchen, grab a glass, pour a glass of water and drink it, even to swallow it. Yeah, every single step, Allah is the one who's giving you power. Okay. So you cannot, the believer, the Muslim cannot believe that he's outside the power of Allah. Yeah, he's completely 100% granting you ability. Yeah, but does that mean I have no free choice? Of course, you have free choice. That's the nature of the test in dunya. You're here in dunya, and Allah has given you the choice to choose. Yeah, the power to make the choice. Okay, you want to choose this way or that way. Then, depending on your choice, Allah will grant you ability. Most of the time, He will grant you the ability. Okay, you want to have a drink of water? Okay, fine, go drink water. Sometimes He'll even take this ability away from you. You want to go and get a glass of water, but you can't get it, right? He's teaching you this lesson. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You think you were doing it by yourself? No, Allah is the one who granted you the ability to walk. Now you can't walk. Now you're saying, oh, Allah, forgive me, right? So subhanAllah, there's great wisdoms even behind Allah withdrawing the ability from us at times, because He is teaching us the simple lesson which is fundamental to our relationship with Allah. It's part of our tawheed. Yeah, which is what? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. How is it tawheed? Because when you say la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, you are, what is the emotion, which is the act of worship which is connected to it? Tawakkul. I'm relying on Allah because I can't do anything unless He helps me. Are we all clear on this topic? Let me have a look at the chat. Yeah. Just let me know if there's any confusion. Okay. So we do another statement by one of our Salaf. He said, you do not take what you love except by Allah, and you do not stay away from what you hate except with the help of Allah. Okay. So this is how they explained. 1 second. Okay. Next statement. There was a scholar, his name was Abu al-Haytham al-Razi, as you can see on your screen, not Imam al-Razi of Tafsir. Okay, this al-Razi, this Imam al-Razi, he was a scholar of language. So he explained La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah to mean, he says, hawl means movement, and it is said hal if a person moves, so it is as if a person is saying there is no movement or ability except by the will of Allah. If a person moves, so it is as if a person is saying, your movement is saying, there is no movement nor ability except by the will of Allah. Okay. It was also said that the meaning is there's no strength in keeping evil away, no, nor power to achieve any good except by Allah. So imagine if you had yaqeen in this statement, yeah, how it will increase you in your reliance upon Allah, and you will negate power from anything except Allah. Yeah. All these statements are similar in conveying the intended meanings of this great statement, which is why Imam al-Nawawi said that when he related some of these narrations, they are all quite similar. And this is why you will see in some of these slides I put, oh, maybe not, Sharh of Sahih Muslim here. So Imam al-Nawawi, when he was explaining Sahih Muslim, he was bringing in all these statements. Yeah. So when you're approaching Ramadan, you need to remember, Iyyaka nasta'in. I cannot do anything unless Allah helps me. Yeah. So when we begin Ramadan, we make many plans, but we need to say statements like this, as you can see on your screen. Oh Allah, I need you to guide me every single second on how I must worship you. Don't you need guidance of Allah? Right? So you need to say this. I obviously meaning it. I need you. I need you to guide me every single second on how I must worship you. So imagine you're expressing this reliance upon Allah. And you're expressing this desire to worship Him the way He wants you to worship Him. Not the way I want to worship Him, the way He wants me to worship Him. And you're expressing this need. I can't do it unless you help me. I need your help, oh Allah. You're the only one who can help me. Yeah. So this is, if you think about it, this is an expression of real ubudiyah. Ubudiyah meaning servitude. And this is what we are. We are all slaves of Allah. So if you will behave the way you're supposed to behave, don't you think you will please Allah? Don't you think He will help you? Because you're expressing your need for Him. Oh Allah, I can't do this, but I want to do it. I want to make you happy. So help me. You think He will say no, right? So the help that you will get depends on your reliance upon Him. So this is why it's so important to talk about this right now. So the more you will depend on Him this Ramadan, the more power He will give you, because you're behaving the way you're supposed to behave. Zero arrogance, complete reliance. May Allah help us. Ameen. Yeah. And consistently, you see, this is the difference, because you'll see some people doing a lot of things in Ramadan, and then what happens, and then they kind of fizzle out. Yeah. They kind of fizzle out, and then they can't do anything. They're like, oh, bas ho gayi. In Urdu, we say that, can't do anything else. The battery is gone. Yeah. And then you will see some people are consistent. They don't seem to be slowing down. In fact, they seem to be speeding up. Right? And you're like, how is this even possible? How are they doing all of this with like 4 hours of sleep or even less than that? What's going on? Who said you can do it? Who said they are doing it? Who said they are doing it? They are being 100% powered by Allah. Yeah. So Allah deals with us based on our attitude. Yeah. So who said you can do it yourself? Maybe the world is telling you, but that is a batil concept. The Quran negates it. If you study the Quran and the Sunnah, every day the Quran teaches you everything is from Allah. If you trust yourself and not Allah, then you will fail. Yeah, you will fail. Don't think your planning will give you success this Ramadan. No. No. Okay? And also don't be deceived by our outward things. Yeah? Because doing something is completely different from it being accepted. A person doing a lot of acts of worship with a heart full of relying upon himself, is this arrogance or not? It's arrogance. How is such an act going to be accepted? When a person is doing something and thinking, oh, look what I'm doing today. I have a plan to read the Quran 5 times this Ramadan, and I've already done it twice. I'm on track. Yeah, Nikki, what is this? Is this the attitude of a humble slave? The point is this, was this the understanding of the Sahaba? No. And yet, did they do great things or were they lazy? They did great, incredible things. And we're still amazed. We're like, how did they do this in such a short period of time? It is the barakah that they received from Allah, the barakah and the rahmah, and the ability from Allah. Why? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I know we listen to lots and lots of different lectures, and I'm sure each and every sheikh will always remind you of this. Yeah? Every sheikh will tell you at some point in the lecture, you need to make dua, you need to ask Allah to help you, right? But what we are going to do today is, this is probably the only thing we're going to talk about today, and maybe one more thing in the end if we have time. Yeah? So we're just going to focus on this one particular point is, I can't do it unless Allah helps me. So I am going to do what? I'm going to beg Allah to help me. Yeah? Right. I'm going to talk about this from different angles. Another thing you need to say is, oh, I think I've already mentioned this. I cannot worship you if you do not give me the power. I cannot worship you if you don't protect me from all harm. You see, even obstacles prevent us. Yes or no? Can't, isn't sickness an obstacle, right? Or getting too busy at work an obstacle. But when Allah facilitates, then He also removes all harm. He grants you the ability, plus He removes distractions. Yeah. So you're asking Allah for all these things. So the more you are thinking about what you're asking Him, right? Allah will deal with you accordingly. So what's going to work for you? What's going to help you? Oh Allah, I need you to guide me every single second on how I must worship you. I need your help. Oh Allah, you're the only one who can help me. Aren't these statements of a slave, a poor slave? This is how we're supposed to think. I can't, oh Allah, I can't survive a single second without you. Hmm? This is pure ibadah. This is pure ibadah. And what is it? It's just you thinking. It's just your attitude. Oh Allah, I cannot. Don't leave me. I'll be destroyed if you leave me. Yeah? This is dependency. Yeah? And the Quran and the Sunnah teach us that expressing this kind of dependency on other than Allah is reprehensible. Allah does not like it. Because this is an act of worship. You only humiliate yourself to Allah, and Allah will increase you in ranks. Yeah. But if you humiliate yourself to other than Allah, Allah will humiliate you in dunya and in akhirah. Yeah. So really, you want people to praise you? Well, not a very good intention actually. It's condemned in the Quran and the Sunnah. But the thing is, why do people love Umar bin Khattab? Why do people have so much honor for him in their hearts? Yeah. Was he chasing our praises? No, he wasn't. He was constantly rejecting it. And plus, he was so humble, right? It was this attitude, because of this humble attitude, yeah. Along with the humble attitude, what was I going to say? Well, anyway, is the reason that Allah rewarded him. Yeah, Allah rewarded him with such izzah that we are separated from him by like 1500 years, but we all have nothing but honor and love and respect for him in our hearts, right? But he believed he was faqir to Allah because he understood his reality. And so we need to do the same. What will help? So what will help you? What will help you is إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. This is what's going to help you. If I want to worship Allah, I need to do إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. Ask only you, we ask for help. You have to actualize this in your heart. Only isti'ana billah. Isti'ana means seeking the help of Allah. Only relying upon Allah alone will help. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah will help. You need to feel this in your heart. This is the point. You can say it with your tongue without you really meaning it. And of course, there's benefit even in that. Why is there benefit even in that? Because what you're saying is haqq. What you're saying is haqq. It's the truth. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah is haqq. Yeah? It's a statement pleasing to Allah because it's the truth. But subhanallah, just imagine the more you increase in your yaqeen in this statement and you really mean it and you're feeling this real poverty towards Allah, then imagine the blessings that you're going to receive. You cannot imagine. You cannot imagine the help you will receive. So it's a spectrum. The more you will increase in your reliance upon Allah, the more help you will get. Yeah. So it's all about your relationship with Allah. It's all about your relationship with Allah. What is all about? Your life in dunya is all about your relationship with Allah. And this is why we need to talk about this, because Ramadan is coming. And it is the blessing of Allah, this most amazing opportunity for you and me to make real changes in our relationship with Allah. Yeah. Improve our relationship with Allah. So we need to begin it with the right approach. So it is not about what you think you have in terms of strength and ability, right? It's about your approach to life, actually, which is what? Approaching life by saying, oh Allah, I am really faqir to you. Faqir, poor to you. Yeah. So, and it's not about the ability Allah has already blessed you with. Because you could be really confident. Oh, but I'm really fit. I fast Mondays and Thursdays, even in the long summer months. Right? What is this? This is you relying on yourself. This is seriously problematic. Yeah. So even if I'm very good at reciting the Quran, I should still be begging Allah. Yeah, Allah help me. Yeah. This is why I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Why do I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim before I start reciting Quran? Why do I say Bismillah? Why have I been taught by the Prophet ﷺ, say Bismillah when you begin something? You're asking Allah to help you. Yes, you're asking Allah for the blessings of Allah, but you're asking Allah to help you. You're asking Allah to grant you permission. Oh Allah, I'm seeking your permission to do this act of worship, because if you don't give me permission, I will not be able to do it. Okay, so Iyaka nasta'een also has the implication of, it's similar to Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim from this perspective. Yeah. So this is also the meaning of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So think about it. Do you think you gained this ability to recite the Quran like this because of your own efforts? Oh, but I put in so many hours. Of course I did. I have been waking up at 4:30 every morning and I've been doing so many pages of the Quran, and plus I do one-to-one with the Sheikha. Yeah, of course. Of course, so many years of effort. Of course, this is the reason. Everybody else is not putting in the type of effort I'm putting. This, this is obviously kibr. This is obviously kibr. You are giving yourself credit. This is seriously problematic. May Allah help us. May Allah guide us. Yeah. But I put in so many hours. There are other people who are also putting in so many hours, but they're not doing it the way you are doing it. Yeah. They haven't reached your level, even though they might even be putting more hours than you're putting in. Maybe they also have a sheikha, right? But how come I'm doing better than them? This is taqseem of Allah. This is the division of Allah. He gives some people more and some people less. But the point we are making is the source is Allah. It's not you. Because you can spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on doing something and still not be good at it. Yeah. And some people you'll see, hey, naturally good cooks. What is this? They just get up and they cook and it's amazing. And me, I'm watching all these videos and everything and still, right? You say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Even if I'm amazing at something, or even if I'm not so good at something, it's all a case of La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So many people try just as hard or even harder, but they don't get the same result, because Allah is the one who gave you this ability and He can surely take it away in a second. So we need to remember who we are. We need to remember who we are. Yeah. So from the point of arrogance, yeah, we need to remember La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, right? It's a cure for arrogance. Yeah, this is why they say Surah Al-Fatiha is a cure. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in is actually, they say it's a cure for arrogance. As scholars have said, it's a cure for arrogance. Somebody is asking link to the session. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Just hold on 1 second, sisters. Are you all okay? In the meantime, you can post your comments. Where is Homa? Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at your comments. Okay. I'm going to assume you're all okay. Nobody's confused, I hope, yeah? Okay. So Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, as scholars have said, it's a cure for arrogance. Okay. And subhanAllah, at the same time, Iyaka nasta'in, right? It also helps if you don't have ability. We all need it. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Everybody needs la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah because it's the eternal truth, right? So even if you say, oh, but I have done zero preparation for this Ramadan and I have so many issues and I've got all this going on and I've got all these problems and I've got all these distractions and and I can't stay awake beyond 9:30 p.m. I cannot keep my eyes open. I cannot. So what do you need to say to yourself? No problem. Why? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Who said you can do it? Who has said to you you can do it without the help of Allah? Right? So if you have the right approach, right? The approach of humility of this poor, humble little slave approaching this the greatest king and begging him. And the king is also merciful. And the king is also generous. And you're saying, Ya Rabbi, help. I want to do so much this Ramadan, but I can't do it unless you help me. You think Allah will say no? You will have the most amazing Ramadan, something you've never experienced in your life ever. Why? Because you were relying on Allah every single second. Not okay the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 days and then saying, oh, I'm on a roll now. No, 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 no. You need to keep staying attached to Allah. Oh, Allah, I can't do this. Oh, Allah, don't even let me forget that I can't do this. Right? I don't want to forget. I cannot do this unless you help me. I need to keep remembering this. Maybe I should keep repeating this lecture. Keep reminding you and myself, right? It's really important. Otherwise, we go into this arrogance or we give up. This is too difficult. But who said you have to do it on your own? Oh, but I barely managed to fast. I feel so unwell. So what? Who's told you to rely on yourself? Rather, the Quran teaches us do not rely on yourself. This is your problem. You need to fix this problem. The problem is your heart. And actually, if you think about it, not having a lot of ability is actually a better position to be in from this perspective. Okay, from this perspective only. Okay, because there's, of course, the hadith where the Prophet says the strong believer is better than the weak believer. Of course, the hadith is there. But I'm saying from this angle, from the angle of the problem of arrogance, it is better that a person doesn't have so much ability because then he can say everything. It's basically people with less ability are more humble. True or false? You can disagree with me. I would say, generally speaking, people who have less of anything, they're more humble than people who have a lot. You have a lot, you become arrogant. Oh, I did this, right? So usually it is easier to become humble when you have less. Okay. But of course, we don't want less, right? We want afia, may Allah grant us all afia, and we want a lot of ability and we want to do a lot. Yeah, we want to do a lot, and so we ask Allah to power us. Why? Because we want to worship Allah max. Yeah. So, and we need to Allah, we need Allah to protect us from shaitan because he'll come and discourage us and do different tactics he'll use to come and spoil our good deeds. Yeah. One way is, oh, you can't do this. You've got so many health issues. The other way, he'll come and says, oh, you're so amazing at it. Huh? So from different angles, he's going to come and spoil your deeds. So you need to be asking Allah, oh, Allah, protect me from shaitan. I don't even know when he comes and he says all these things. And then I start listening to him. So you will go to Allah like the faqir that you really are. And you will say, after you understood la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, you will go to Allah and say, Ya Rab, this is so hard for me. But I really want to fast for you this year. So give me the power. Ya Rab, I can't do it unless you help me. So what's happening here? This is your heart. And it's a pure action of the heart. Your heart is moving with sincere emotions. Sincere emotions that will get you divine assistance. Now, if you have divine assistance, do you need anything else? Right? So don't forget that you are dealing with the King of Kings, the merciful Rabb, who is also the most appreciative, Ashakir Shakur. Yeah, he's the most appreciative. He appreciates, subhanallah, your actions of your heart. And he's going to help you for your attitude. Subhanallah, Allah Ashakir Shakur is the one who will reward you and help you just for an action of the heart. So this is from the meanings of the names of Allah, Ashakir, Ashakur, the most appreciative. Meaning is not only does his appreciation, right, includes him preserving every single thing that you do for him. Yeah, even if people are not recognizing it, no problem. You don't care. Why? Because you know Allah appreciates what I'm doing, and Allah is recording everything I'm doing, and Allah will reward me for it, and plus Allah will increase me in it. I get all of this. Yeah, if I know Allah is a Shakir, a Shakur. Yeah. So Allah is the one who appreciates every tiny deed done for him. But the thing is, we need to rely on him. Yeah. You cannot think for even a second that you are independent of him. So this is why Allah mentions this concept of ubudiyah and seeking reliance upon Allah in so many places in the Quran. Yeah. And maybe if you ponder over it, maybe on every other page. Well, that's just my statement. But Tawheed is there, every page. Yeah. But part of your Tawheed is reliance upon Allah. Yeah. Reliance upon Allah alone. Okay. And so this concept is mentioned in these two concepts are mentioned in many places in the Quran. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Oh Allah, only you we worship, only you we ask for help, is also actually mentioned in, for example, sorry, next slide. My slides are a bit mixed up. Surah Hud. Yeah. وَلِلَّهِ غَيْبُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورُ كُلُّ not umur, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وإليه يرجع الأمر كله فاعبدوه وتوكل عليه. This is the point. فاعبدوه وتوكل عليه. Here it comes in the command form. Yeah. Surah Al-Fatiha it comes in a claim form. You are asking Allah, you're making a claim. Over here, Allah gives you an instruction. So worship Him and tawakkal alayh. And you need to rely upon Him. Okay, so it's a clear command, and these two commands are coming together. Worship Him, and part of the worship which is singled out is reliance. You need to rely on Allah. Okay, then so many other verses. There's an ayah, Surah Nisa, ayah number 81 over here. Allah says, so turn away from them, and then, turn away from them, and then the instruction is, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ, and put your trust in Allah. And then look what Allah says at the end of the ayah, وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا, and Allah is sufficient as a wakil. That's all you need. You only need Allah. You only need Allah. He is sufficient for you. What else? Okay, we looked at this ayah. So here, I think I didn't mention Surah Fatir. Yeah. Oh, come, I don't have this. Yeah. So this is the reality. We need to rely on Allah because of a need for Him. For example, Surah Fatir, let's have a look at it. Allah tells us, Ya ayyuhan nasu antumul fuqara ila Allah. O mankind, it is you who are all fuqara ila Allah. You all stand in need of Allah. Yeah, you're all in a state of faqr to Allah. Wallahu huwa al-ghani al-hamid. While Allah is al-ghani, the rich, al-hamid, worthy of all praise. He needs no one. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need your worship. You're the one who needs him. Why? Because you're in complete, desperate need for him. And this is why, subhanAllah, Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, he said, when you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, he said, you need to recite it as if you're in a state of emergency. You need to recite it as if you're drowning. SubhanAllah. Like you're drowning and you're asking Allah to rescue you. Yeah, so our ulama, they understood. They understood who they were. Yeah? And they were, what are they? Faqir to Allah. And they understood who is Allah. They understood the relationship. We are all faqir to Allah. And He is Al-Ghani Al-Hamid, Rabbil Alameen, who's also Rahman Rahim. And He's also Maliki Yawmiddin. We're all going back to Him. So we can see how Allah connects these concepts together in so many places in the Quran. And there's another ayah in Surah Al-Ma'idah. I wonder if I have it for you on a screen. Yeah. Ayah number 23. Over here, Allah connects Iman with reliance. You need to rely on Allah if you're claiming to be a believer. This is what this ayah is saying. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And upon Allah rely, command, if you should be believers. If you should be believers. SubhanAllah. So this is how important it is to rely on Allah. But you'll only rely on Allah if you understand and have yaqeen in what? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I cannot do anything unless Allah helps me. And I don't even want to do anything. Yeah? I don't even want to do anything unless I'm relying upon Allah. Why? Because I don't want to be confident in myself for a blink of an eye. And if you think about it, it's one of the most liberating concepts. I don't want to be confident in myself. People are so miserable because of the amount of pressure they put on themselves. I need to be doing this and I need to be doing that. And then people putting pressure on them. You need to be doing this and you need to be doing that. What is this called? Formula for unhappiness and misery and stress and anxiety. But the Quran teaches you. Who said you can do it? Who said you can do it? Did Allah say you can do it? What does Allah say? Allah says, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. You claiming to be believers? You are supposed to say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. It is only you we worship and it is only you we ask for help. Oh, Allah, I can't do it unless you help me. Yeah, so this is what Allah teaches us in the Quran. So I have all these ayat. Allah is never telling us you can do it by yourself. You need Allah. Yeah. What else? Did the Prophet ﷺ say it? The most excellent example for us is the Prophet ﷺ. What did he say? Did he ever say that he was confident in himself? Rather, we have du'as. For example, this particular dua, which we have been instructed to do, make at least twice a day, morning, evening, azkar. Yeah, in Arabic, you might know this dua, inshallah. Hopefully you are making your morning, evening azkar. You should be. Ya hayyu ya qayyumu bi rahmatika astaghiithu aslih li shani kullahu wa la takilni ila nafsi tarfata ayn. O you who is ever living and sustains and protects everything. So the dua starts with praising Allah. I seek assistance through the means of your mercy. Correct for me all my affairs and do not entrust me to myself for the moment of a blink of an eye. So this is a dua of the Prophet ﷺ, who the Quran describes as the best. Yeah, he is the best. And he is saying, oh Allah, don't leave me to myself for a blink of an eye. I don't want to rely on myself for a blink of an eye. I don't want to be confident in myself for a blink of an eye. Oh Allah, don't leave me. Another dua, very similar. Allahumma rahmataka arju fala takilni. Do I have it for you? Yeah, only the translation, I'm afraid. فلا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة عين وأصلي لي شأني كله لا إله إلا أنت. Oh Allah, I hope for your mercy. Do not leave me to myself even for the blinking of an eye. Yani, not even for a moment. Correct all of my affairs for me. Putting all your issues to Allah. All of them. Some of them all. Correct all my affairs for me. La ilaha illa ant. There's none worthy of worship but you. Hmm? So this is what we learn from the ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Do these sound statements of someone who is confident in himself? And he is the best of creation. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Yeah, so I think I'm going to end here. Yeah, because I think this was a very important concept in itself. And I don't want to dilute it with anything else. So if you can just take away this concept from this session, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, it'll be a big fath for all of us, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording now.